If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please consider liking it because I'm terrible at FIFA and I need all the self-esteem I can get. If you're interested in football shirts, football boots or anything football related, go check out my Depop. The link for that is also down below. If you do need any coins, head over to u7buystore.com. Use the code TVM at checkout for a discount. The link is in the description. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are going to try to predict the icon swaps icons. I've got a lot of icons to get through. I'm not going to dwell on each and individual one. We will spend a couple more seconds on some rather than others if there's a story to tell. But I think we can probably expect around 6 icons, which is stupid really when you think that there's probably 17 options and only 6 icons. But we're going to start off from the lowest potential, which is going to be Zanetti. I think he's been in it before, but EA don't really pay too much attention to what icons have featured in previous icon swaps. It'll be fresh in the mind of many, but for EA, they'll just go off the price of the current market. So Zanetti, 4 to 8 tokens. Cannavaro seems like he might be potentially more tokens than 8, but given the price on the market right now, the 89 is around the same price as the sort of Zanetti and our next couple of players. So if he were to feature, I would imagine it would be between 4 and 8 tokens, likely 7 if I had my guess. Schweinsteiger up next, not a card that many, if any, would take, I'm sure, due to that 68 pace, but an option nonetheless. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that these are the ones I want to see, by the way. These are the cards I would imagine EA will go for. Whether you like them or not is largely irrelevant because EA will do what EA want to do. Casillas up next. We usually get a goalkeeper in amongst all of this, a way for a lot of people really to pick up a goalkeeper to link your defenders together. That is obviously one of the biggest problems in Ultimate Team, is getting the chemistry. Keepers help an awful lot when having to go from different leagues for your centre-backs, so Casillas was an obvious choice. Moving on to our final player of the 4 to 8 tokens, I've gone for Davor Suker. Used to love this guy in the 90s. I used to play for Arsenal. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I used to like watching him in the Euros. This is his prime card. Will we see a prime card in 4 to 8 tokens that isn't a Portuguese player? Potentially, and if it would be, it might be Suker. The other player that could potentially be there, but I think he might just creep over into the 9 token category, is Pavel Nedved. This is a prime again, but it's not one of those cards that many will rush out to get. Now, I understand that he played for some pretty big clubs, Juventus to name but one, but he's not really a desirable card. Unlike this centre-back. Now, this centre-back would be, I think, the first card that I would seriously consider on the list. Decent pace, very good defending, very good physical, not too bad on the ball with the old first touch. Laurent Blanc is a very good player in FIFA, and this is one that I would really pay close attention to. Xavi's prime is one of those that could potentially be a very good card in the game, but I've put it between the 9 and 12 tokens because I just think that the jump from the mid to the prime, it's decent, but the mid isn't a very expensive card at all. So I just find it difficult to believe that the prime would be that expensive. Gianfranco Zola's base card is arguably the best version of Gianfranco Zola, so what an EA thing to do would be to give us the mid for around 11 tokens. It honestly is such an EA thing. I can't... It's going to happen, isn't it? They're going to give us a mid or a prime version of Zola thinking they're doing us a favour, but obviously the base one is the best. Rivaldo up next, and our final player for the 9 to 12 token segment. It's not the base card, which is an 87, I believe. I think we've had that before in previous swaps, or maybe they just brought it out as a single standalone SBC, but a 90 Rivaldo would tempt a fair few people, I'm sure, at maybe 10 to 12 tokens, maybe 11. Kaká up next could potentially fall into that category of 9 to 12. He's on the borderline. I'm not sure many would go for him if he was around 13 tokens, to be honest, especially with some of the other players that could potentially be here. But he's definitely a card that many people would have grown up watching in real life, therefore would want in the game. Moving on to a player that would be unbelievable in this game, I'm pretty sure. Could have gone with a prime, but as this is around 900 to 1 million coins, this is the mid Butragueno. I would imagine the prime is going to be 2 mil plus. If he were to feature, he would be the top card. So I've gone with the mid because he's still going to be a fantastic player in this game. Moving on to Philipp Lahm. It's one of those cards that I'm sure if you packed it, you'd be happy. And obviously it would be very good in game. But would anyone realistically want to spend between 13 and 17 tokens on him? Probably not, to be honest. Not unless you're a massive Bayern Munich fan and you love Philipp Lahm. I think you'd probably stay clear and save up for someone like this. Ronaldinho, our penultimate player. This is the base card. His stamina's not particularly very great, and the other two cards are far better. But I don't think EA are going to give us a 2 million coin player for the end of icon swaps. They may give us a 1 to 1.5 million, but 2, 3, 4 million coin players may be next icon swaps. Puskas is what I'm going to finish with. I will have some honourable mentions in a second and some potentials, because there are a few cards I definitely think are going to feature. I just couldn't decide where and who to take out. But Puskas is one of those I think a lot of people would want to spend 17 tokens on, even if it is the lowest version possible. But this card is, I can tell you, very good because I have the loan. Cafu is an honourable mention. I think he could definitely feature. He's around, I think he's about 500,000 coins, so he'd probably drop into that sort of 9 to 12 tokens section somewhere, maybe 10 tokens for him. I think many would be happy to do that, myself included actually. George Best usually features as an icon in these things, either in swaps or as a standalone SBC. We've not had him as a standalone. He's not one of the ones that are due to come out either, so there is every chance he could feature. They may give us his prime as well, but given the fact that this card is still on the expensive side, I find it hard to believe that they would go one step further. I didn't have any English representatives, which is obviously not an EA thing to do. We'll either get Sol Campbell or Rio Ferdinand, I'm sure, but to spice it up a little bit, I've gone with Wayne Rooney's mid, which is still expensive, so could feature in the 13 to 17 tokens somewhere. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. The next two players, I'm not going to spend too long on Ronaldo because the main player to talk about is Pele, but when they released, I think it was the mid icon SBC a little while ago, obviously they included the mid ones by mistake. And then they ended up reissuing people with tradable versions of these cards. A lot of people reported that they had tradable Peles and Ronaldos. This could be EA's way of saying, hey look, we made a mistake. They won't say this out loud obviously, but this is EA's way of saying, look, we made a mistake. For those who didn't do it, or for those who didn't get compensated in this way, here's your chance to go and get yourself a Ronaldo or a Pele, and they may put them at 17 tokens. That was the thought behind the honourable mention. But that's going to do it for the list of potential icons we could see in icon swaps. I may be completely wrong, I may not have got a single card correct, but just trying to think like EA think, I would imagine a fair few of them are going to be correct. Whether we get the base, the mid or the prime versions remains to be seen, but it should come out tomorrow. So if you've got an opinion, get it in there quick. If you've got a prediction, let me know. If you have enjoyed this video and you want to see more predictions, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and until the next time, goodbye.